still kind of freaks me out today.
Because you just weren't expecting it. It wasn't like
Yeah.
it was a jump scare. It wasn't like, oh, this is scary. It was like, oh, okay.
For me, I consider it kind of like the like that like the sudden picture of something to scare you before it fades away.
Well, I mean, the thing is that it wasn't like, oh my god, this is just terrifying. It was just like, okay, this is
I
not
was saying it.
really.
I was saying it's not scary, but it's more like what the heck, and then you see it and then say, oh, kind of like that, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that it was just like you weren't anticipating it.
Yeah.
Um, that's about it. The lack of anticipation. It's like when you watch a scary movie and they'll have like a fake out with a loud noise, and you'll jump not because it's scary, but because that's your natural physiological reaction to having something startle you. And that's all it is. Like I've played legitimately scary games, and then I've played games that are just like going for jump scares. Like I a lot of people think that Resident Evil 1 and 2, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil Nemesis, they think those games are scary, but I'm like, not really. Because I mean, in all those games, you have a gun, you can defend yourself. For me, stuff like Legacy of Kain, Shadow Man, those games are scarier because it's like the physiological, psychological concepts of what's going on in the game is scarier than like jump scares to me. That's just me. Uh, Before we go any further, let's have everyone introduce themselves, starting with the lady first, then the gentleman, and then myself, and then we'll dive into what our topics are going to be. So here we go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all ages, the best special midweek podcast. I am Joe Eli Moonstar, and brother, how the heck are we getting two movie games nearly back to back?
Well, I don't know if they're going to be back to back. It's just,
I said nearly because I have a feeling that those two are going to be close to the release date of each other.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. But I just find it amusing that they're going to make a Call of Duty movie. But anyway, Kanoshi.
Kenoshi Abominito. I don't understand the purpose of a Call of Duty movie. I mean,
That
watch
makes you
any
feel
war movie that's come out in the past 4 decades. There you go. I don't know. It's just gonna probably be a generic war movie.
The only way I will care,
Alright.
the only way I would care if they made a Call of Duty movie is if they made it set in World War II, but it was all about people hunting Nazis and murdering the shit out of them. You make that movie, I'll watch it. Because any movie where Nazis are being like executed, I'm okay with.
Wolfenstein.
No, no, Wolfenstein is kind of stupid, over sensationalized. Because here's the thing: no matter what it happens in a Wolfenstein video game, the real life shit Nazis did is way worse.
Yeah, but if anything, it at least gives you a chance to do something to them.
So
Though, if anything, I'll say, um, the end of chapter 3 in Wolfenstein, the original one, mind you,
yeah, you kill Robo Hitler.
um, actually, it seems like you kill a real thing. I said seems like,
Yeah, well,
but I would
he's
just
got
say,
this like mechanized armor, and then you get to kill. He
actually,
jumps out of it, and then you kill him, and he bursts into a puddle of goo.
yeah. If anything, that is still satisfying, even though he's he's kind of a cheap variant since he uses not only four machine guns, but then uses another pair around your face.
Members get.
I guess so. So anyway, yeah, and allow me to introduce myself. It's Mr. Red Fox, owner prior to BS Busters. Let's dive into it. We have quite a few topics to cover, some of which are actually some good news topics. So first, we'll be covering the announcement of a Call of Duty movie, plus some of the baffling casting for Uncharted movie. Um, some news about the GTA Remastered trilogy and price confirmation. Activision Blizzard effing up yet again.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. They're like a crackhead who's so addicted that they can't help but mess up yet again. It's like, well, yeah, I knew they were gonna mess up because that's what they do.
I was hoping that we'll at least have a week without them doing something.
We didn't talk about them last week. Anyway, Grasshopper manufacturer Suda
Okay.
51 Studio has been bought by NetEase. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I know that Grasshopper manufacturer has never been like a, how can I put this? They have never been a sales juggernaut. Their games are very niche. So I don't know them being bought by NetEase. I don't know how that's going to really
As in
make
the
a lot of money.
Wonderful 101 as in the Wonderful 101 niche.
No, I think Wonderful 101 has sold more than Grasshopper Manufacturer's games. Their games are ultra niche. Like they made Shadow of the Damned and that cheerleader bikini massacre game and Contact for the DS. Like they make really
Okay.
niche. They also made No More Heroes, but that game, I think the highest selling game in that series is the first one. So I
I was
mean,
thinking how niche it would be because I was thinking no more. I was thinking the Wonderful 101 is a niche game.
it is niche, but like I still think it's been more successful than any of Grasshopper Manufacturer's games. Their games are very low tier, but whatever. Um,
Dang, that's niche.
and we also have the beginning framework for how we're gonna the metrics
Talk about
for our
the-
Game of the Year categorizations.
Yeah.
So there we go. So let's, and of course we have the unpopular opinion section. So let's get started. So there's been an announcement of a Call of Duty movie. We don't know anything else about it except it's going to be a Call of Duty movie. So who wants to dive into that pool first?
Like I said,
I was gonna ask who the heck called for Uncharted and a Call of Duty movie. Just wondering.
I mean, it doesn't matter who asked for it. There's a fan base who will probably go watch a Call of Duty and Uncharted movie. I mean, to be fair though, if you play an Uncharted game, you're essentially playing a movie anyway. So
That's what I was thinking. What about you, Kanosh?
yeah. What's the point of a Call of Duty movie? It's probably gonna be a generic war movie. It's probably gonna be a generic war movie anyway.
well, the way I look at it, you've got three choices. It's either going to be a World War II movie, which, once again, if it's a World War II movie where we get to see, like, a group of U.S. soldiers or British soldiers hunting down Nazis and murdering the shit out of them, I can get behind that. Because anytime I see a group of soldiers murdering fascists, I'm okay with it. Because fuck them. Or they can go generic war movie set in a more modern war, like Desert Storm, the war in Afghanistan and Iraq, something like that. But that's just boring because those wars, I mean, this is a personal opinion of mine, but the last war that the U.S. fought in that was really like, this is a war that needs to be fought was World War II. Every other war since then has just been some bullshit.
I was
So,
gonna say more like political.
Dick measuring
flexing.
contest?
I was saying flexing.
Yeah, they're flexing something, but it's just kind of like, it's like, I don't really feel, it's really hard for me to really feel all that excited about this bullshit. Or they can go the Black Ops route and have this alternate history thing where there's more going on. Like, if they do a Call of Duty movie, but it's based on Call of Duty zombies, I'd be cool with that. Like, have alternate versions of JFK, Fidel Castro, other characters fighting zombies. I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
So, the idea of using an IP to make a movie isn't bad. It's all in the execution. So, could be good, could be terrible. It's a roll of the dice. It's all in how it's executed. But considering this is probably going to have Activision's name smeared all over it, and I don't really think there's going to be a movie, I think this is all a misdirection by Bobby Kotick and the board members to put the heat off of their ass for the shit they've been doing. We'll get to that later.
So when is this movie supposed to come out?
I don't know.
Hmm.
We just know that they said that they're working on it. Call of Duty movie. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! They said it's coming out. Oh wait, no. Call of Duty film.
I was gonna ask, what the heck happened?
No. Okay, they announced a cinematic universe based on the Call of Duty franchise. In 2018, they said they're going to write a script to a Call of Duty movie. But here's the thing. This is all old information. On February 14th, this is last year, Stefano Salima stated during an interview that the Call of Duty movies were no longer a priority for Activision. So I think this is just some. I'm gonna double down on my original thing that basically they just said they're working on a Call of Duty movie to get the fire off of their ass for the shit they've been doing in their company that's been really effed up. Kind of like when your parents are lecturing you about something you did that was wrong, and you try to do anything to distract them from the lecture. That's basically what they're doing. I don't think there's going to be a Call of Duty movie. I think there's just some shit they're saying to distract people. Hey, let's jangle these keys and maybe the media won't notice how fucked up we are. And that's why we keep on talking about Activision fucking up. Because, you know, I'm not going to be like the short-minded media. Hey, like how they were with Ubisoft. Like all this fucked up shit going on at Ubisoft. But I really want to play Far Cry 6. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. So yeah, that's why we keep on bringing up Activision Blizzard, because, you know, this is some fucked up shit they've done.
Doing it.
And it should be continuously brought to people's attention. You can't bury it and pretend like, well, that was last year. This shit's been going on for a decade, or probably longer, but it's been documented for a decade. So, it can't be swept under the rug or ignored. Speaking of movies that no one asked for, Uncharted trailer came out, and they cast. Who did they cast? Who did they cast as Sully? Mark Wahlberg, Mr. Good Vibrations himself. And who did they cast as Nathan Drake? Tom Holland.
I don't know why they did that.
Tom Holland, who's a good actor, but the problem with Tom Holland is that he's like 5'6". He's really fucking short.
Yeah.
He's a good actor, but physically he looks nothing like Nathan Drake. Now, unfortunately, what the fans of Uncharted really wanted, they wanted Nathan Fillion to play Nathan Drake, considering that the character of Nathan Drake was heavily influenced by young Nathan Fillion. So why not get Nathan Fillion to play Nathan Drake? But Nathan Fillion doesn't have those box office draws. So Sony's like, we're going to get Tom Holland, who, I mean, Tom Holland's moved into more serious roles. So, like, and I've seen him in shit where it's like, God damn, Tom Holland got raw. Like, if you have the headcanon, this is Peter Parker, it's like, this Peter Parker got real raw after he got snapped away. Like, he got, like, some of the shit Tom Holland's been in, I'm like, God damn. Peter Parker ain't fucking around. What?
What other movies has he been in?
He was in this movie on Netflix where he plays, it's like set in this like podunk, ain't got shit, ultra religious town where this almost cult leader like preacher played by Robert Pattinson goes around raping everybody. Rapes girls, rapes grown men. Just a serial rapist. And except he fucked up and rapes Tom Holland's older sister, who practically raised him, and she kills herself. And so Tom Holland comes back to town and wreaks holy vengeance on a lot of fucking people. I mean, it's like, god damn, Peter Parker, you got. If you follow the headcanon of Tom Holland being Peter Parker, it's like after they snapped you away, you went into an alternate reality and fucked everybody up. So it's like Tom Holland has range, like Robert Pattinson. Like most people, if you're counting Robert Pattinson as it's the Twilight guy, he is so much more than the Twilight guy. Go watch Good Time, which has one of the best, most hilarious death scenes ever, but unintentionally hilarious. Not like they went out of their way to make it funny. It's like, this shit is hilarious. Or, Robert Pattinson playing an utter and complete piece of shit, but you're still rooting for him to make it out. Like, Robert Pattinson's really upped his acting game, which is why when I heard he was cast as Batman, I was like, I think he can pull it off. So, but Tom Holland playing Nathan Drake, it's like he's too goddamn short to play Nathan Drake. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Too short. But
some things just make you wonder why, right?
Well, business-wise, Tom Holland has a popular name in Hollywood, and people will go see a movie just because Tom Holland's in it. Unfortunately. Whether it's a good movie or not. But anyway. Anyone have any other things they want to say about the Uncharted movie? Before we move on to the next topic?
Or next movie.
I mean, we could talk about the Mario movie with that stunt casting of having Chris Pratt be the voice of Mario. Because, when I think of Mario's voice, I think Chris Pratt.
I was gonna say, if anything, I have to hear how he sounds before I make a judgment call, but
It's going to be Chris Pratt doing Chris Pratt's voice. He's not going to do anything cool with it. Because Chris Pratt's not a voice actor. Like in a classical sense. He's an actor who has a recognizable voice, and they're like, well, Chris Pratt's popular, let's put him in there. Personally, I would have preferred Danny DeVito to play Mario's voice. I think he could pull it off. Especially considering that Danny DeVito is actually Italian.
I can understand that, at least. I'm just saying that, if anything, I have to listen to how he's supposed to be sounding before I make that call, but something tells me we're not gonna get much of a move.
Yeah. Anyway, let's keep it moving. So, the GTA Remastered Trilogy has been confirmed. The price has also been confirmed. The price is $60 on all current gen platforms, and one next gen platform, which is the Switch. Unfortunately, it's going to cost you $70 on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Why? I have no idea. But you'll be able to play the game on your Switch, where you will need an internet connection to download the rest of the game because Rockstar was too fucking cheap to spring for a 32 gigabyte cartridge, flash cartridge. Although I don't think it's Rockstar because Nintendo is the one who's handling distribution for this game. So maybe Nintendo was too cheap to spring for a 32 gigabyte cartridge for the GTA trilogy. I don't know, but whoever made that decision, you cheap bastards, stop it. And you'll be able to enjoy the game on everything else. PS5, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox Series X, PC for $60. It's not. I don't think it's worth $60. I think they should have gone with 40 or maybe even 50 on the higher end. But yeah, it's $60. And I mean,
And it'll sell. Everybody's gonna
It'll
buy
sell, yeah, because everyone has. Even if you don't like every single 3D sixth gen GTA game, everyone has one favorite. You know, a lot of people like GTA 3, although that game is fucking unplayable these days. A lot of people like Vice City. I'm personally a San Andreas man myself, so it'll sell. It'll sell gangbusters. But the question is, will you guys get it? Not now, but if it goes on sale.
possibly.
Like iffy.
All right. Well, I'm getting it. I'm getting it next month. And I don't care about the price. Even though $60 is a little steep, but I'm still getting it because I'm a GTA fan.
That's
Especially
right.
those 6th gen games. It's illogical, doesn't make sense, it's overpriced, still getting it. Sue me.
Your words.
And I will still be I will I will be playing GTA yet again. Driving around, running people over. Now of
I
course
was
they
gonna say, you you're likely gonna be running over some people that take your money too.
yeah, well, ironically enough, in GTA games I don't really attack pedestrians. Unless someone starts some shit with me first. Like in San Andreas, if I'm driving around and I roll up into a balla hood, and they start some shit, then I'm like, okay, now I gotta kill you. Now I have to kill you because you started shit with me. If they don't start shit with me, I will leave you alone. Like I don't like a lot of people play GTA just go around murdering the shit out of random people. I am not one of those people. Like in GTA, I will speed, I will run lights, but I don't run over pedestrians or anything like that. However, if you fuck with me, I will kill you. I'm very reactive like that in GTA. And that's the like. I mean, really, I'm that way with Saints Row too. Like I don't go around just randomly killing pedestrians in Saints Row. Now, if you're a bad guy or enemy gang member, you're getting
You're
nut
getting the
shotted.
tires.
I will like the missions in GTA and Saints Row where you can grab someone and throw them off of a roof. Yeah, you can do that. You get respect for throwing people off of roofs. I
I was
will.
about to say, why do I have a feeling that it's like burnouts in the insurance game?
There is an insurance game where you get hit by cars and then you ragdoll in midair so that you can spin around and smash into other cars and get extra points and higher cash payouts for insurance fraud. So
As a kid,
yeah,
that's like burnout the insurance game.
yeah. So yeah,
Only you're a much smaller target.
I like games like that. But anyway, let's keep it moving. I'm going to pull an audible and insert another topic since we've kind of gotten through 2 of the 5 really quickly. I'm going to insert right here Nintendo's Online. Yet again.
Brother, here we go again.
Now, I suspected that the Nintendo Switch Online was going to be bad. The online expansion pack was going to be bad. I suspected. I had a clue. I had my gut was like, this is not going to end well. I did not know it was going to be this bad. I didn't know that they were going to have an online emulator for the N64 games that was going to be functionally running some of the games like ass. Which is strange because there are emulators that you can run on last gen hardware, on jailbroken last gen hardware, that can run N64 better than the N64 emulator that's on the Switch right now. Now, this is not an issue about the Switch being weak or anything like that. This is like just bad quality control. Like, I don't know who they have in charge of porting these games over onto their online, software suite for their emulator, Nintendo Switch Online Library, but they are fucking up. They need to be called over to the woodshed. So, and the net code is bad as well. Like, it's not good. It's not good. You're selling people on nostalgia, and you can't even get that shit right. It's terrible. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like, Nintendo's always been known for high quality, but they just couldn't get it right this time around for some reason.
Yeah, yeah, they kind of fucked up on that one. It's kind of sad, really, because could have been better, but I mean, I don't know. It makes me wonder what the fuck they've been doing all year and all last year, because clearly it takes a while to work on these online emulators that they're using, right? So what the fuck have they been doing for the last 18 months? Just like sitting around with their thumb up their ass, just, looking around?
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo. I don't know. Somebody's drunk or falling asleep at the wheel over there at Nintendo.
In this regard, they've got their
Yeah,
shit
at least
together in a
that.
lot of things, but their online library has been pretty piss poor.
Oh yeah. You figure with all the money Nintendo has, you'd figure they'd put some of that money into fixing their online infrastructure.
Well, I mean, the thing is this: in order to fix Nintendo's online infrastructure, at this point, from what I just, I don't have anyone on the inside, but from what it feels like to me, it seems like from the Wii to the Wii U to the 3DS to the DS to the 3DS, it seems like they haven't really like, even though they changed the online store and all that shit, like at this point the only way they can fix their online infrastructure is that they're going to have to go in from the ground up and tear everything down and start from scratch, and Nintendo ain't doing that, because that would take, you're looking at like 2-3 months of even worse online connectivity and dropped games. And a lot of their highest selling games have online components. Animal Crossing has online components.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8 has online components, and they're not gonna take out their games for that. Now, their best bet, like now that we're reaching the end of life cycle for the Switch, their best bet would be like the next 2 years before they launch their new hardware is to really go and upgrade their online infrastructure for their next console. But that's my
Yeah.
own personal opinion. Joel, you have any thoughts on this before we move on to the next topic?
Just roll.
All right.
This is one of those times I'm not even talking.
Okay. Anyway, speaking of companies fucking up yet again, Activision Blizzard, once again.
I'm trying not to groan because it already is annoying to know that these guys keep on coming back for more.
Well, the lady who the thing is that the person who they put in charge of their internal action committee to deal with the major
She
issues.
quit, didn't she?
No, she's still there. But here's the thing: it's the lady who wrote that thing and said, "Well, I've never had anyone do anything to me." That's because you're one of the fucking bosses. No one's gonna do shit to you.
Yeah.
She's also the same lady who helped write a memo to make to okay torture during the Iraq War under George W. Bush. So yeah, this lady is totally on the up and up and has complete credibility. Of course, I'm being facetious.
Yeah.
It would be great if she quit and left and took her money and went away. But unfortunately, we don't have that luxury. She's still there, and she's heading an action committee to tackle the problems that are that are plaguing the company. Here's a little secret, Activision Blizzard. You don't put someone whose entire job experience has been protecting the status quo in charge of investigating the status quo. Unless you are intentionally tanking your efforts, which is what they're doing. They're intentionally tanking the efforts to put, to make it look like we're doing something, but you're not doing shit. You know,
True.
it's like saying we're holding bad police accountable by not doing a damn thing when bad police do fucked up shit. Like that's basically what they're doing. They'll handle it internally. No, that doesn't really work. I've never seen a company handle something fucked up internally and have the shit turn out good. Never have I ever kissed a dude. But also never have I ever seen a company handle anything internally and say we will regulate ourselves and seen the internal regulations actually do anything, have a positive effect on the company. Aside from maybe burying complaints, internal complaints from the people who are being victimized and taken advantage of by the company and them increasing their profit margin by fucking over their employees. But aside from that, I've never seen internal, policies work in a company. When it came to victimization of people without power by people in power. It just doesn't happen. Because there's no incentive. There's no outside pressure for them to change. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you think? Do you agree? Disagree?
If anything, I'm just gonna say, why am I not gonna be surprised when this stick of dynamite blows up?
Well, it's getting worse. It's getting worse because they also tried to get the case dismissed because the lawyers who worked on the state case are also working on the federal case against them as well. Or one of the state cases is also working on the state Supreme Court case as well against California Supreme Court case as well against Activision Blizzard, which is a bullshit statement because lawyers jump. If a lawyer has been dealing with a case for years and they did the legwork or their law office did, then they're intimately familiar with the details of the brief. So a lot of times they will be asked to come on to another case pertaining to that same individual or company to keep it going because they have a firm grasp of the facts. But this is once again Activision Blizzard desperately trying to weasel themselves out of the pile of dog dookie that they stepped into. So, I don't know. You guys have any thoughts on it?
No, not really.
I'm
Alright.
just gonna say that this is gonna be one of those times where it's gonna be one of those complicated matters of law and business, and Activision Blizzard is hoping that that it's gonna be 1 versus 1, where it's not gonna be 2 versus 1.
Personally, I hope that I hope that them trying to weasel out of this is an utter and complete waste of time for Activision Blizzard, and they get what's coming to them. And I hope they get it hard.
That's what I was gonna say. I know Activision Blizzard is hoping that the two are gonna be arguing to each other for ages before they forget about them. I'm hoping that those two are gonna tag team and stomp on Activision for that one.
I hope they get what's coming to them because this company has been rampant for years and they need to be brought to task. But speaking of utter and complete waste of time, Kenoshi, would you like to tell us about your impressions of the the Sony experience, Sony State of Play, whatever the fuck they call it? I don't know.
All right, let's talk about this.
Sony State of Play.
It was a huge waste of time. We'll start there. Nothing of real note was shown, except they announced another character for King of Fighter 15, which ever since they went to 3D, I just have no interest in that series. I just think the 3D models don't look particularly that great. I really think they should have stuck with the 2D hand drawn stuff. But whatever. Um, Star Ocean was shown, which looked pretty generic, and yeah, it was looked like something between Kingdom Hearts, third person action game wise, and Xenoblade Chronicles, and it just looked generic. The voice acting sounded generic. Doesn't come out until 2022, so who knows? Maybe next year it'll look a little better. Maybe it'll run a little better. But um, Little Devil Inside looked interesting for people who are into, the those light survival games with the heavy looks like it has some heavy RPG elements. So um, I'm not particularly interested in in survival games, but I know there are a lot of people who are. So hopefully people enjoy that game. Uh, that's about it. Wasn't anything to write home about. Wasn't anything to write about. Period. So
So it was a waste of time. That's what you're saying.
it was a waste. It's a big old waste of time.
Yeah, I suspected it would be. I saw the trailer for Star Ocean: The Divine Force, and it does look like they're channeling a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles X on here.
Yeah.
A lot of Xenoblade Chronicles X. I mean, if you're gonna steal, if you're gonna do like a sci-fi RPG, stealing from Xenoblade Chronicles X is a smart move. Hopefully, unfortunately, it looks like this game is still gonna fall into the Star Ocean trap, which is you're thinking this is going to be a sci-fi RPG, and everything just falls back into your prototypical fantasy RPG with a little bit of sci-fi tropes sprinkled in. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, well, this isn't a dragon. This is a species that uses an organ in the back of its throat to breathe fire, and it has wings, and it looks like a reptile. So it's a dragon. No, no, no. It's like, come on, man. This isn't magic. These are stellar arts. I'm like, come on, man. Just look. If you want to make a fantasy game, make a fantasy game. But if you're gonna call something Star Ocean, have spaceships and energy swords and guns. Like, I remember playing the new Star Ocean back in the day on the PS2, where they're like, oh yeah, guns don't work against these monsters. You have to use a sword or a lead pipe. I'm like, this is some bullshit. What's the use of having it set in a sci-fi setting if high-tech weapons don't do shit? That's stupid.
Well, it's just
Hey,
it's
that's
poor
just
it's poor explaining your game mechanics.
yeah.
Yeah, what's the point of having guns then? Like you should have just designed this world where people just use swords. Like that's a poor implementation, trying to implement game mechanics in your story. That's terrible.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's poor implementation of game mechanics. I would say it's just the world building is shit. Because the whole point of
Well,
Star Ocean is like every Star Ocean game, you have this high tech civilization. They crash land on a low tech planet, and then they have to make their way out. And you always have a point where someone has a gun or a phaser or a laser gun, and they use it against the enemy, and it doesn't do shit. I'm like, what's the fucking use of having high tech stuff? I mean, because that would be the equivalent. I mean, I'm not saying it's okay, but that would be the equivalent of someone with a machine gun going up into the forest where there's people who are still using Bronze Age level technology, and they use the machine gun, and it ain't doing shit. That makes no sense. Now, if they did said some shit like, okay, I have to be judicious in using my laser gun because our generator is shot and I can't recharge it, so I have to be very like it becomes like a special item that you have to use sparingly. Okay, makes sense. But don't have this world where you have people with energy with lightsabers basically. But apparently the phaser doesn't work against the local fauna. Man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. I mean, I'll give Xenoblade Chronicles X this much credit. All the high-tech shit those people had worked on everything. Oh, it's megafauna. That's okay. I got a mech. Or sorry, a skell.
The one.
Matter of fact, Xenoblade Chronicles X did something that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 took out. You could target individual parts of a creature's body and basically keep them from using that body part to attack. Oh, so they like using a bite attack to do lots of damage? I broke your jaw, now you can't do shit. Oh, now you're gonna use a tail attack. I broke your tail, now you can't use that shit either. Smart game. Smart game. I hope, if Tri-Ace is going to Square Enix and Tri-Ace, if Tri-Ace is gonna put this out, I hope and pray that if they're stealing, I hope they're stealing more than just the aesthetics of Xenoblade Chronicles X. I hope they steal some of those gameplay mechanics, because Xenoblade Chronicles X, I'll say it, had a way better battle system than Xenoblade Chronicles 1 or 2. Yeah, I said it. It's one of the best Monolith Soft games they've made in a long time.
Say, I get 2, but seriously?
Yeah, it's better than 1 too.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, Xenoblade Chronicles 1 is like the template from which the other games draw, but like you look at Xenoblade Chronicles X and how far they took that concept, and it's like it's done better. It's better executed. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 took away even shit that you could do in 1, so it's like overly simplified. So X, I give it a hand. So maybe this game will be good. Probably not. It comes out in 2022, so a year from now, next year.
We'll see.
It's coming out for the PS4 and the PS5, so probably the year after that it'll probably come out for PC. So, I know that the last Star Ocean game was kind of like underwhelming for a lot of people. And that's all I'll say on that. So this game is one of those do or die games for Tri-Ace where it has to be really good or else. So, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Any other information about the state of play that we need to know before we move on to the next topic?
Nope.
All right.
I just know I won't be watching another one of those for a while.
It's like that could have been a press release. That didn't have to be a show.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about a lot of those games shown at the PlayStation now could have been part of a sizzle reel at a bigger event. At a much larger event, it could have been a sizzle reel. So.
Or they could have gone more in depth about the game because it comes out next year. So at this point, it should be pretty far along. They could have gone in depth and had like character profiles. That's kind of like the problem with the state of plays is that they don't go in depth about shit people want to know about, and they kind of go way in depth about shit that no one gives a fuck about. I can remember one state of play, they went so in depth about that Dreams create your own game thing. I'm like, no one gives a fuck about this. Like, no one is buying a PS5 so that they can make their own game using Dreams. That's just fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And why would you spend 30 minutes talking about that? It wasn't 30, it was like 20, but still. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic, which is Grasshopper manufacturer Suda 51 Studio has been bought by Netease. Netease. Now, for those of you who don't know, Netease is a Chinese software publisher slash software like online service conglomerate from China. Personally, I'm a little bit worried, but because anytime I hear about Chinese companies buying up shit, I'm like, well, I'm worried. But what are your guys' thoughts on that?
One, why am I not surprised? Two, sad to know another niche is getting fed to a bigger fish.
Well, I mean, whenever this happens to a Japanese company, they always say, well, nothing's going to change. We're still going to create the same games we always created. But I've never seen them create those same games that they always created. They always get absorbed. They might come out with one game, and then they kind of disappear into the woodworks. So
I was going to say, kind of like EA. As in, when EA does that stunt.
I can't go that far with... I can't say it's like EA, because EA will at least give you 2 or 3 games to fuck up. These Chinese companies give you one, and then you're done. In some ways, it's worse. That's why I'm amazed that BioWare has been given as many chances as they've been given. As much as they've been fucking up. But that's my own personal opinion. I mean, you know, I kind of feel bad about it because, I mean, Suda51 has made a lot of games I've really enjoyed playing, like Shadows of the Damned, you know, Zombie, Cheerleader Massacre, Chainsaw Massacre. Like, they've made some games. He's made some games where I'm like, man, I really like this game. And just for some reason, he just can't seem to make a huge hit. So, kind of, I don't know. I feel a bit worried. But that's my own personal opinion.
Not surprised there, but understandable.
I mean, plus, you know, the whole No More Heroes trilogy, which, you know, is a brainchild of Suda51. So I'm a little feel kind of bad about that. But maybe I'll be proven wrong, and the pattern that we see from Chinese companies buying Japanese studios won't necessarily play out the way it has so many other times. But, you know, here's hoping. Here's some other little minor news. Pathfinder, the Pathfinder Starfinder publisher called Paizo, voluntarily has chosen to recognize the formation of their own workers' union. Their workers have unionized, and they have begun their collective bargaining in order to get a better outcome for the workers at the company. This is the good news I was talking about. These people will have a say on how things go, and will have less amounts of them getting crushed down in the ground in order to get that shit out. So that's good news. You know, considering that Paizo is headquartered in Seattle, maybe this will trickle down to California, and they can help those bastards down there in California, as Arnold Schwarzenegger used to say, get his stuff together and not be, help those people over there, Activision Blizzard, unionize and get their stuff together. If we're lucky. Well, if they're lucky, because, I own a business. I don't have to unionize. So, yeah. It's good news. Let's see. And our last topic, the framework for our Game of the Year categorization. So who wants to go first?
For me, I'm trying to keep it simple. Like, it has to at least be out in the year 2021. it has to be something that I experienced at least once, and well, hopefully it's not from ga- one of the big one of the big guys that keep on screwing up, which is gonna mean EA and Ubisoft and Activision Blizzard. You three are clearly out of running.
um,
Of course, it's gotta come out this year. It I have to have played a big chunk of it, at least at least at least somewhere near halfway through the game. Um, that's pretty much about it.
all right,
Oh yeah, yeah.
all right. For me, my rule of thumb is it had to come out in 2021. It had to be a game that I um, really enjoyed. It can't just be some shit. It's got to be something that I enjoyed. It has to be something that was above and beyond what um, you know what its compatriots are. So I'm not just going to put an RPG in there, even if it's not a very good RPG. I put a caveat on myself. I'm not putting any re-releases of or remakes of shit that came out before. So no Mario Kart 8, no uh, no Super Mario 3D World, because that already came out before. And even though they added some new shit, it's functionally the same damn game. So that came out before, so it's not on the list. Um,
Yeah, that's a good one. No re-releases, so you can't do re-releases or HD remakes.
yeah.
Jesus.
So from there, I basically looked at a list of all the games that have come out from January to October. I'm not including November, December, because fuck it. I don't feel like it. So January to October. And then basically I say, okay, I played these games. Did I enjoy it? Was it worthwhile? Did it, was it good? And from there, I'm categorizing them based on what they are. So the RPGs get lumped together, the sports games get lumped together, the um, action adventure games get lumped together, um, and then they get put against each other, and those will be the best game in that category, and then the best game in that category. They get pitched against each other, and whichever one wins of those categories is the game of the year. There you go. So
You're sounding like the VGAs at the moment.
now the VGAs is a popularity contest where people vote, and then the people over all of that can override the popular vote in order, so that their friends can get it. Shit like that. Looking at you, Jeff Keighley. Like
I'm
me,
sorry.
I try to have a more balanced rubric based upon was this game good? When I played it, was it enjoyable? Stuff like that. I'm not just going with, oh, I like this game, because there's some trash games I like. Like I like the Saga, the Final Fantasy Legend Collection, but it's trash. It's missing a lot of content. It doesn't have a manual, so you're missing a lot of gameplay mechanics. So you have to go online and look shit up in order to play the game. I enjoy it, but it's not a game I would put on my game of the year list. Just because I like something doesn't mean I can take a step back and look at it objectively and say this doesn't meet the category, the qualities of being a game of the year, or even the best in its category. It's very easy for me to do that because I went to school when I was in high school. I was taking logic courses and philosophy courses and learning how to use parallel thinking and shit like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
VGAs are pointless unless you are wanting to see hoping for any interesting announcements.
There's not going to be any interesting announcements with the VGAs. It's just a whole bunch
No,
of
not this year.
bullshit. It's a big popularity contest where a whole bunch of bullshit comes out, and that's it. Um,
Hey, there's a few. Hey, if anything, there's a few diamonds in the rough announcements, but
no,
otherwise,
no,
I said a few
it's a
because
whole bunch of
usually
bullshit.
Psychonauts 2 was unveiled at the VGAs.
Yeah, but we knew about Psychonauts 2 before the VGAs, and it had been announced before the VGAs. So I'm not calling that an announcement at the VGAs. Like when someone says an announcement at the VGAs, it's got to be something that's amazing. Well, okay, that announcement they had for Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, where people got mad. That was great. I mean, it was like Cranky.
So upset.
It was like Cranky shit in his hand and threw the shit at people himself. That was great.
I was trying to at least say that I said that there's at least a few good announcements in the VGAs, but trying to find trying to find a diamond in a heavy thick mountain of coal.
Was that VGA 2014?
That was the first VGA it happened. Because everyone thought Nintendo was going to announce this big thing, and they announced Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And people got so mad they shit themselves. I was like, good.
I was having my laughs, actually. I thought that was honestly funny.
Why would they announce something that big?
Because they're bitches, that's why.
I had a great laugh at that, so excuse me.
I was laughing my ass off too. The fact that those people were so mad about that game, like when people get mad about companies talking about games, that makes me happy. Especially games that they don't like, that I think, like, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't think Tropical Freeze is that good of a game. I think that it's better than the first Donkey Kong Country remake from Retro. But it's still, like, I don't think if you do a 1-to-1 comparison to the second game in the series under Retro to the second game under Rare, it doesn't hold a candle to Diddy Kong's Quest.
Yeah.
But the fact that those bunch of dude bro popularity contest, I like playing video games that are like movies, that I want to pay $60 to $70 for a game that I can beat in 8 hours. The fact that those dude bro motherfuckers, the people who will readily admit that that game released by Hideo Kojima, Death Stranding, is fucking boring and hard to play, but they like it because Hideo Kojima made it. The fact that they got mad about that shit made me happy.
And if anything, that was probably one of the funniest things that you ever see on video game history.
Shit, anything that makes those bunch of losers happy makes me happy. And yes, I called them losers. Okay.
I was gonna say, don't you mean whatever makes those guys unhappy makes you happy?
Yeah. Sorry, switched it up. Anything that makes those assholes unhappy makes me happy, because it's people like that are ruining this hobby. Because they accept it. If you accept bullshit, it eventually... Look, listen, as a Nintendo fan, the people who are Nintendo fans and accept when Nintendo drops the ball or does some half-ass shit, if you accept it and enough people accept it, over time, they think that they can get away with it and it's okay, and the quality goes down. That's what's happened with Nintendo's Online. People accepted it being mediocre, so now they think they can be mediocre all the goddamn time. Doesn't matter. You accept shit, you get shit. Okay? That's how it is. Okay? You know, that's any company. You accept Sony raising the price of their online, even though it fucking goes out every 3 to 4 months. You accept it, that's what you're gonna get. Okay? You accept bullshit, you get bullshit. If you don't accept it, if you complain about it, they change shit up. But if you just sit there and say, "Yeah, I'll take it, as long as I get to play my games," you're gonna get shit on. It's just the way it is. But anyway, yeah. So that's basically how I. But there's some good games that have come out this year, though.
Yeah.
Like some really good games. There's some games that came out that I didn't even play that I thought were going to be really good. So people need to understand that shit. But anyway, anyone else have anything else they want to say before we wrap things up? Because we got through most of our stuff. Oh, no, we have to do our unpopular opinion. Who wants to go first? Unpopular opinions.
I'm probably gonna get it a lot more since this is a Pokemon one, and we already got this one. But I'm gonna say this: F Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm hoping for at least Brilliant Diamond, Shine, and Pearl to do better than that. Period. Even though I'm not getting either, I'm just hoping at this point.
All right. Kanoshi?
Don't have one this week.
All right. I have two unpopular opinions. The first one is, Sony, if you're not going to say anything useful, if you're not going to say anything useful, if at your E3 present at your little state of plays,
Play.
don't have the shit. Like, like if you're not gonna say anything, just don't say shit. Just keep your fucking mouth shut. Just saying. Like, if you don't have anything, if you don't have enough content to fill, like meaningful content to fill 30 to 50 minutes, don't have the shit. Just do a press release.
Yeah, show up.
Don't bring your ass out there. That's all I'm saying, okay? If you ain't got shit to say, don't bring your ass out there. Here's my next unpopular opinion. It's about Nintendo, but fuck it. It's got to be said. Nintendo, get your shit together.
Yeah.
You look, your shitty online was unacceptable and it was $20 a year. Now that you have a tier that's like $50, it's really unacceptable.
Yeah.
Okay? That's like me going up to my customers and saying, "Hey, we're going to upcharge you in order for you to have we're going to upcharge your card so that you have free play on these arcade machines." Well, what do we get with that? What's the upcharge? Oh, you get the same shitty amount of machines you can play, which is these 5 machines right here, these multi-cart machines, but we're going to charge you another $20. Like, that's some bullshit. Like, why? That's just bad business.
Yeah.
And if my customers let me get away with that shit, they need their ass whooped for letting me get away with it. Now, fortunately, my customers aren't dumb like that. But if they let me get away with that, they need their ass whooped for letting me get away with it. So, with that being said, go ahead, Kenoshi.
It's they should know how the N64 works. I mean, it's unless they license out the emulation to somebody else. It's always a possibility, but I don't particularly know why they would do that.
For me, here's the problem with that statement. Nintendo builds a software emulator, built a software emulator in the Wii era. Like if you boot up Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on the N64 software emulator on the Wii, that game runs much closer to the original hardware than the one on the Switch. Like, how the fuck do you over 2 generations lose the ability to emulate your own shit on your own hardware.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not even talking about the online connection where people are fucking playing, Mario Kart 8, and the big selling point is, oh, it has online gameplay, and people are missing frames and it's skipping out. It's like, come on,
Yeah, and
man.
the Wii had less resources to work with too.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I know at least a lot of emulators rely on brute force to get them to work. At
Yeah,
least a lot of the
but those emulators were optimized on the Wii and the Wii U to play those games. It's not so on the Switch. I mean, I don't know. They fucked up. They went backwards. They took a step backwards. But anyway, with that being said, anything else that any other unpopular opinions anyone else wants to get out before we wrap things up?
I
Nothing.
honestly don't got anything.
No one has any unpopular opinions. I'm amazed. Okay.
Oh, come off it, facetious.
So that being said, that's the end of the cast. We got finished quite a bit early this time. It was last time, like last Wednesday's cast went like 30 minutes over, but this time got it done quick. So that being said, let's have everyone pimp out their content, and then we'll wrap things up. Who wants to go first?
Right now, I'm trying to do a GSB of some of the games that I've played so far, and it's gonna take a while.
All right.
Gold, silver, bronze, if anybody's wondering.
All right.
to have a cast next Tuesday. Project Console. So come join us next Tuesday. Also, been a stream. It's mainly a test stream because I did the PlayStation stream as a test stream because I was, testing out some different stuff. So yeah, check that out and check out the cast next week. See you guys next week.
All right, Mr. Red Fox here. So our next cast is Saturday. I'm personally starting to rack up my game of the years, where I'm basically putting the different games together and the various lists and determining the best sports game versus racing game best that I've played. I know other games have come out, but I'm going with what I've played because I haven't played everything. Like I've only played like 3 racing games this year, and the best one I had was Cruis'n Blast. That game is great, but it's fun. So yeah, Cruis'n Blast is I haven't played like some of these games. I haven't played a lot of games. A lot of the games I have been playing are like huge time sinks and not like, oh, this is a great game. There's a lot of shit. It's like this game is a time sink. So yeah. So that being said, that's the end of the podcast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Our next podcast is Saturday, 7:30 p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. I will have my review where I re-review old games coming up this Friday, and I will be re-reviewing KOTOR, the first KOTOR, this Friday. That's going to be fun. You'll be surprised. I've been playing it. You'll be surprised what I'm going to say in my review about it. But just a hint, I don't think it's that good. So with that being said, thank you. Good night. Have a good day, and play your games. And of course,
don't forget to hunt responsibly.
That is correct. If you want to get in touch with the channel, you can reach me via
Email,
Twitter,
Twitter,
email,
and Discord.
and Discord.